Welcome everybody that's joining, and we'll be kind of slow starting here as people come on board. My name is Carl Strathman. I'm Elgin Township Chair for the Democrats. And we have, let me introduce the Executive Committee while we're waiting here. Mike Rendy, who is the Vice Chair, he is kind of running the switches and keys for the webinar here. Patrick Gordon, who is our Secretary. We have Janice Bennett, who is our Treasurer. Frank Emhoff is our Parliamentarian. Winfried Cooper is our Sergeant at Arms. We are starting promptly at 7 o'clock. A little information about Elgin Township Democrats. We are the local Democrats, a grassroots organization consisting of 59 precincts that cover all of the area of Elgin and South Elgin in Kane County. We are part of Kane County Democrats and part of the organization chain of the state and federal Democrat of the state and Kane County Democrats, and part of the organizational chain of the state and federal Democrat Party. We focus on how we can serve the needs of our local communities by keeping people informed and up to date. We have Facebook pages, web pages, and monthly meetings open to the public to inform and educate. We help candidates during election process to get their messages out. After the primary election, we help spread the word for those candidates and that win the primary. This debate tonight is giving you a chance to meet the candidates so you can make an educated choice on the ballot box. How we doing, Mike? Are we getting more people in?
Up to 36, and I'm troubleshooting a couple of people that are having issues.
Okay. I will start telling a little bit about the Elgin Township Democrats, the Elgin Township government. The township is a public corporation established by law with the rights to tax and perform certain functions. A township board consists of 5 members, the supervisor or chairman, 4 trustees, each one has 1 vote. The clerk keeps records and countersigns orders or vouchers. Highway commissioner attends board meetings but is not a voting member of the board. The board may hire such township employees as they feel are needed. However, they do not hire employees for the supervisory of general assistance, which is the highway commissioner, township assessor, township tax collector, are hired by the officials of these offices. Townships are the oldest form of local government. At this point, I think we're about ready to go here so we can maintain our time. Each group is going to run somewhere between 15 and a half hour. And then we're going to have an intermission, and Janice, who is our secretary, and she is also our person that is handling our fundraiser at the midpoint of the debate. She's going to take a couple minutes and explain how that works. And then we'll go back to our second part of the format, which will be the township supervisor positions. They have the same kind of a debate that the road commissioners have. There will be questions answered by Amanda Holland, who I will let her introduce herself and give her points on what she's going to be doing for us. Amanda?
They're not going to be answered by me. They're going to be asked by me.
And if you have some rules that I didn't cover, please feel free to do that.
No, the only thing that we had talked about is for the candidates, please, when you give your opening statement, don't make it a stump speech. Give us information about who you are, where you're from, and what your credentials are that obviously would allow you to be in this office. We don't need to know, because the questions will tell us, what your priorities are and how you feel about the particular office. Other than that, we've got the timeframes worked out, and we hope everybody has a successful debate, and we'll move forward.
Just to recap here, the debate is broken into 3 segments. First segment will be 2 candidates for highway commissioner, candidates are Jose Bosque and James Shales. Both are from Elgin. We kind of did a number pick to see who goes first. And the closest one was Mr. Bosque. So Jose, go for it. Do your introduction and let us know what you're about.
Good evening, friends. First and foremost, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for attending this debate. I know there's plenty of other things that you could be doing with your time, so it's good to see that there's so many people actively engaged in the democratic process. My name is Jose Bosque, and I am running for Elgin Township Highway Commissioner. I've called Elgin home for more than 25 years. I've known my wife for more than 20 years, and I've been married for more than 18 years. We have 4 boys that range from ages 6 through 20. I currently work as a lead senior analyst for a global IT corporation, which directly supports a national healthcare organization. As team lead, I support level 1 and level 2 analysts in their daily operations. And together we maintain and manage millions of dollars of assets, which directly impact patient care. Outside of work, I have been privileged to be able to mentor at-risk teens in my neighborhood. I have volunteered at a local hospice residence, and I'm senior warden of Elgin Lodge number 116. I'm a sworn member of Hanover Township Emergency Services. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a self-sustained emergency management agency. I volunteer as a first responder there, and our main duties are to provide auxiliary support for police and fire in the surrounding areas. I hold a license to be an emergency medical responder from the state of Illinois Public Health. I am certified in wilderness search and rescue operations from the Illinois Search and Rescue Council. And I have reaffirmed my dedication to serve in times of crisis through professional development by taking some courses from FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security. Some of these courses include Fundamentals of Emergency Management, National Incident Management Systems, National Response Framework, Hazmat for Medical Personnel, Local Damage Assessment, and Active Shooter. I also hold a CDL with an NT endorsement for more than 7 years, and I'm certified from the Illinois Fire Institute in fire service vehicle operation. As we all know, the pandemic has reshaped our future, and I'm running for Elgin Township Highway Commissioner because I've identified some areas that need improvement in order to prepare the road district for the road ahead, pun intended. When elected, I plan on focusing on maximizing tax dollars by implementing a system that will better track where our resources are allocated and provide the voters with data-driven results. I can be found on Facebook at facebook.com/Bosque for Elgin, and I hope to gain your support and vote on February 23rd. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Shales.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the Elgin Township Executive Committee and Attorney Amanda Holland for putting this event on, especially Mike, Frank, Patrick, Janice, Rich, and Carl. My name is Jim Shales. I've lived in Elgin approximately 45 years. I have one son, John Jack Shales, works for the city of Elgin, coaches Pee Wee football. I have a daughter, Jamie Lee Shales, is back at school. I have 2 grandsons. Dominic will be a freshman at St. Ed's, which he is at St. Ed's. And I have a little Jack, which will be 2nd grade at St. Mary's. Also, I have a sister, Sue Rushka, which just retired at the school district U46 for 40 years. I have a brother, Leo Shales, which is in the food beverage industry, so he's taken a hit on COVID-19. I also have a niece in California, Marianne, who worked for United Airlines. Hopefully I haven't forgot anyone out of this. I've been married twice, divorced, almost married for the 3rd time. My almost wife of 22 years, that's what I call her. She's a retired ICU nurse. She's in Maryland taking care of her grandchildren because of the COVID-19. She's been out there a couple of years and probably be another year or 2 she'll be out there. I have over 32 years working in the public employee sector and representing the public employee sector. I have 10 years in law enforcement background. I was a Kane County deputy. I was a conservation officer for Lake County. And then I transferred over to the state's attorney's office as a criminal/gang task force person. Also, I've recently have close to 20 years working for the Illinois Department of Transportation. I started out as a highway maintainer. Back in 2010, I was appointed by Governor Quinn to head down to Springfield for IDOT. As soon as I arrived at IDOT in Springfield, I was promoted to data entry supervisor, which I oversaw a department of 50 folks over there. From there, transferred over to the grant division, where as a grant manager, saw over 50 grantees in the faith community section of Chicago. Ended back up in the vehicle inspection unit, statewide unit chief. We were responsible for all school buses in the state of Illinois. I have credentials as certified with crowd control. I have hazardous material. I have a CDLA with the hazmat. Every job that the highway department has done, I have personally done, and I have supervised those tasks. So I'm able to hit the ground running, and I would like to ask you for your support and your vote February 23rd. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, Amanda.
Okay, just to let people who are watching or participating know, there is a Q&A icon, and you can submit written questions on that, and then they will forward those to me. And as long as we have time, I will go ahead and I will ask those questions to our various participants. Now, I'm assuming, since we had Jose go first, and maybe I'm assuming wrong, with the introduction, that now we flip and we have James go first with the question.
Correct.
Okay. First question is, what would you do, if anything, to make the highway commissioner's role and the policy making more transparent?
That's a very good question, Counselor. Basically, there is no transparency at the highway department. More or less, the answer to really the voters, if you go onto the website, they're very vague. So my position would be is total transparency. We would send out a flyer or mailer each week. If you feel like you'd want to come in and see what the highway department would be, we would walk you around and show you what it would entail. So I've done this, at IDOT Traffic. So transparency is extremely important. And the highway commissioner acts alone. So it's very important for oversight, and that oversight would be the voters of Elgin Township.
And the same question now to Jose.
I would agree that lack of transparency is the key issue that's hindering the department from moving forward. The current system is outdated. In order to review any of the documents, the voters would have to call into the department, make an appointment, drive to the township road district, and sit there and review the documents. My plan is to update the current system by scanning all the documents electronically and uploading them to the township website so that viewers have access to be able to review the documents from the comfort of their own home. I also want to improve the accountability, which is another issue at the township, by implementing a work order system that will track man hours and resources in order to identify areas that need attention.
I would like to rebuttal if I could.
Yes,
Council.
James, you've got 30 seconds to rebut.
Well, what Jose just got through saying, they do track the work hours. There's a sheet out there, which is available on site. There's approximately 3 highway maintainers. It clearly shows the amount of money they've made and the hours that they've worked. They're real close to their wages that a county and state employee makes. So that is available. I have that document right in front of me.
Thank you. Next question, and this time Jose goes first. How many lane miles are in Elgin Township, and how many households would you be serving as the supervisor or the commissioner?
I'm not sure about the number of households. I do believe there are about 26 lane miles or 16 lane miles, which is about 26 to 30 miles of road, which the highway commissioner is responsible for maintaining. And by maintaining, I mean clearing the roads, making sure there's no potholes, maintaining the culverts, maintaining the stop signs, and any other signs to make sure that the reflectivity is accurate. And yeah, I don't think there's that many miles that that are in the township. I do know that the areas that are supported are in very different parts of the township. So the logistics is the issue that we would need to tackle in order to better serve the community.
And James, same
Yes.
question.
Yes. Once again, Jose is wrong. There's close to 70 lane miles. There's 100 roads in Elgin Township. How they calculate that is you travel one way and the back way. So I have once again, the number is available on the township website. So if he went and asked or pulled up the records, he would know that. So they've calculated close to 70 miles, total miles with 100 roads that the township maintain in Elgin Township.
Thank you. Do you have anything else to say for 30 seconds there, Jose?
No.
Okay, next question. What do you believe are the key issues or problems facing the roads or other things under the jurisdiction of the Highway Commissioner? And if you are elected, what specifically will you do to address those problems?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
What do you believe are the key issues or problems involving the roads or other things that are under the jurisdiction of the Highway Commissioner? And if elected, what would you do to solve those problems?
Well, my plan to bring transparency by implementing a system that will review, that will track and document the, can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, there's like a static in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you believe are the key issues or problems that are facing the Highway Commissioner here or the roads? And what would you do if elected to correct that?
I think currently the highway department is doing an okay job of maintaining the roads. There was an issue with a bridge that went out, which is something that the township commissioner does support. I believe that these issues can be resolved by the system that I will implement to track and maintain the roads and the signs. I've been in contact with a couple of engineering companies and a couple of township highway commissioners that have given me some ideas on how they manage their system. And I believe that bringing this system to Elgin Township will allow us to see the data and have the voters, give the voters a clearer view of where their tax dollars are being spent.
And James, how would you address that question?
Basically, my literature has arrived to probably 1,600 of Elgin Township voters. Part of my mission will be is to create a 24/7 pothole division. You're going to be looking at the pothole season starting now. Once it starts raining, it starts freezing up. That's when the potholes will start popping up. And if you're not able to get to work and break your car down or suspension, that's not doing us any good. The township roads, there's 100 roads. I have traveled all 100 roads. They're going to need excessive repairs. And where I would come in as the grant manager for the grantees is I understand how to get the money from the state for the infrastructure. So we must maintain the roads. And basically the township folks, the employees there, they subcontract a lot of the work out. So we're going to put a quick look at that line item, and we need to change that because the taxpayers are, this is the tax levy, you know, they're being charged this money, so they need to do more, and I'm prepared for them to do more. I have a senior citizens program for the buses. Hanover Township currently has 8 buses that shuttle seniors and special needs kids, you know, to certain locations. They actually.
5 seconds, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Next question goes to James first.
I'd like to rebuttal if I could.
Oh, yes, you may have a rebuttal.
Thank
30
you.
seconds.
Appreciate that. The pothole repair, the system that I want to implement is going to bring about new technologies that will allow the roads to stay stronger and last longer.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Are we rebutting my questions, my answers, or is he just giving a new answer? I'm sorry.
No, he can't give a new answer. He has
That's
to
what he's
respond
doing.
directly to your answer.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome. The
Can I
next
start?
question.
He didn't even let me finish.
Jose, are you responding directly to James, or are you doing something in addition to what you didn't say before? Because if you are responding directly to James, that's fine. You have 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was talking about the pothole repair.
Okay.
So I believe that the system that I'm going to implement and the technologies that I want to bring to the township will eliminate the need to have a 24/7 pothole repair. The technologies that I'm interested in and bringing to the township will make the roads last longer and prevent people from.
I think 30 seconds is up here. Let me go on to the next question. And this one, Jose, you go first. What is your experience in negotiating contracts, and what is the largest budget that you have managed? Jose, are you there?
Mike, did we lose Jose?
I don't know. I don't see him and I don't hear
Part
him.
of the challenge with online things look like we might have just lost him. Hopefully he'll pop on again momentarily.
Do you want me to go ahead and have James answer the question while we're waiting, or do you want me to wait for Jose?
Go ahead, let Jim start.
Okay, James, the question again was, what is your experience in negotiating contracts, and what is the largest budget that you have managed?
Thank you very much for the question, Counselor. As a former union official and business representative, I have negotiated over 100 contracts when I was in the office as the union official. Of those contracts, we looked at the City of St. Charles, King County Highway Department, the state of Illinois IDOT. I sat on negotiations. So I'm very familiar with negotiations. I hold a 98% grievance rate winning with contracts for the employees. Also, when the governor appointed me to traffic safety, they were going to put me in the labor task force down there to negotiate contracts and handle grievances. So I'm very familiar on how to negotiate contracts, how to handle grievances and arbitration. The biggest budget I have operated and oversaw would be probably 20-fold of the Elgin Township.
All right, Jim.
Budget.
We're going to
have Jose back.
Did we get Jose back, Mike?
I'm sorry.
Oh, there he
is. I'm sorry, is my time up, Carl?
No, your time's not up.
No,
I think
but
we're going to have to start that question over.
Right, we were trying to get Jose back. We lost him. Jose, you're back on?
Yeah, I'm back on my phone. I don't know what happened to
Okay, good.
All
Don't
right,
know what happened, but we lost you.
let's do the question again then, Amanda.
All right, here's the question again. Hold on just a second, I gotta pull it up. what is your experience in negotiating contracts, and what is the largest budget that you have managed?
I have experience in creating contracts with the healthcare organization that I work in by implementing different solutions and different teams in order to get the projects that need to be done. As I said earlier in my introduction, I do manage and maintain millions of dollars worth of inventory. So I would bring that experience into the township to be able to manage and maintain the budget and the inventory.
So I'd like to rebuttal that, please.
Yes, you may.
Well, it clearly shows he has no contract experience. So that was the question to Jose. So that was my my answer.
And how about the largest budget that you've managed? Is there anything that, Jose, that you have managed, you know, in terms of dollar amounts for a budget?
No.
And James?
Yes, Amanda, you don't want me to start all over. I pretty well.
Yeah, I do want you to start over because we got to keep it fair here. So.
Right. We've got to make sure that it's fair and that everybody gets to say what they need to say.
So, okay, very good. All right. As a union official, I have negotiated over 100 contracts. Those contracts consisted of Kane County Highway Department, DeKalb County Highway Department, St. Charles Municipality, construction, beverage, and then I sat in on negotiations on the contract for the Illinois Department of Transportation highway maintainer. So the biggest budget that I have oversaw and conducted, there's several of them, Amanda, as my time in traffic safety, the grantee division, there was a budget that we followed, vehicle inspection. So I would say 20-fold of the Elgin Township highway budget, which I believe was $2,140,000. So every bit of 20 million.
Thank you. Anything else to say, Jose?
No.
All right. Next question. Are there any changes to this position that you would like to make? In particular, would you propose adding, subtracting, changing, or restructuring any of the roles of the highway commissioner? And because we lost Jose and let James go first last time, I will let Jose go first this time.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. Are there any changes to the position that you would like to make? In particular, would you propose adding, subtracting, changing, or restructuring any of the roles of the highway commissioner?
So I'm a data guy, and I like to make decisions based on data. As I mentioned in one of the other questions, the lack of transparency is one of the key issues that's affecting the township. Without the data, there's really no way to know where we can improve, where we can, what needs to be looked at, and where we can reallocate resources. Currently, I don't know if there's any areas because of the lack of transparency that's available to the public. But once I get in and provide this data-driven results, we'll be able to, not only will I be able to better make a decision, but the taxpayers will also have a better idea of why I'm making these decisions.
Thank you. And James?
Yes, thank you. The data is available, okay? I have the data in front of me. So once again, the due diligence, if you would have pulled it up, and I requested this under the Freedom of Information Act, I have it. I'm possibly looking at the state more or less will do seasonal employees in the wintertime. It's basically they need extra help for the winter season. I'm looking possibly at that. There's some line item issues here that I don't understand. We have something like a travel training, what I'm looking at right now, that was like $10,000 and $17,000. So that's ridiculous. So that means that they went to some seminar, probably in Arizona, or maybe Hawaii. So there's some issues that need to be done. And then we give money back to the South Elgin and Elgin. So we need to take a serious look at that. You know, the taxpayers are paying property taxes under the tax levy. So we need to do more, and I'm prepared for these guys to do more. Yeah, there's quite a few things. Well, there's at least probably eight to 10 things that I would ask to implement right away if the voters of Elgin Township vote me in for this position.
Thank you. Can we move on to the next question?
I'd like to be able to rebuttal.
Yes, you may rebut. You have 30 seconds.
The plans that my opponent is talking about makes it seem as if the highway commissioner's office or the road district is going to be part of Elgin Township forever. The fact is that the pandemic has changed the way we see life, the way that people work, and the chances of the unincorporated areas becoming incorporated are increasingly getting closer. We must, I believe that we should plan not only to keep the residents serviced, but for maybe even possibly the elimination of the road district.
Thank you for that. Next question. Have either, and this goes to James first, have either of you developed a multi-million-dollar budget or have experience with a tax levy?
Yes, I have a multi-million-dollar budget at IDOT Traffic Safety, which I've explained already. The tax levy is assessed by the assessor, which the highway commissioner puts together. So I have not personally done a tax levy, but I've looked at other townships to see that they fall under the guidelines, which they do.
Thank you. Jose?
I have not, I don't have any experience with creating a tax levy, but I do believe that wisdom is found in the counsel of many. Not everybody knows everything. And my expertise in getting the resources, which happens to be people who know more than me, together to bring the data and be able to make decisions based on those data.
I would like to rebuttal that, please.
Please, 30 seconds.
Well, once again, he said to get the people together. And the data, the data is available. And the people together, I'm confused who the people are together. You need to get grants to put these roads back in shape. And I know how that is done. I've worked in that grantee division. So we need to raise quite a few grants to build up the infrastructure.
Thank you. I have one more question that I see has come in, unless there's something else that's come in from the floor on Q&A. And as much as I hate to ask this, because of the forum that we are in, I will. Why are you, and this is to Jose first, why are you running as a Democrat? Have you always been a Democrat? Can we pull your voting record?
That's kind of a tough question because I've not always been involved in politics. I think the first time I got involved in politics was helping a local state senator. And volunteering with her allowed me to be able to see how the process works. Before meeting the senator, I believed that government was not for the people. that my vote didn't count, that there wasn't anything that us voters could do to improve the system. Now I see things different. Now I realize that me being involved and getting other people involved is essential to not only help our community grow, but to address issues that are facing the community at large. I don't agree with I'm a minority, so I do not. Republicans have in their office. I do have democratic values, and I will always be a Democrat from here on out.
Thank you. And James?
Well, he certainly danced around that question. The answer, Amanda, is no. Back in 1989, I came to work for the Teamsters organization. 90%, maybe 85% of our membership was Republican. So basically, for me to negotiate contracts with the management, I was a Republican. Anything on the federal level, we crossed over. I worked on Carol Moseley Braun's campaign, 1990, steering committeeman of Dick Durbin, and I have volunteered for 30 years, and I've helped out, probably 100 politicians. I became a Democrat in 1998, and you can look up my voters record.
Thank you. And I don't think that's something that needs a rebuttal. One of the questions that just came in at the last minute, and it's kind of a difficult question, I'm sure, to answer, is what are your plans to mitigate the undue stress that climate change will impose upon our roads? And that answer should go to James, or question should go to James first, since Jose was able to answer the last one first.
Could you ask the question again, please?
Sure. Let me take a look. Pull it up again. What are your plans to mitigate the undue stress that climate change will impose upon our roads?
It's a very good question. Basically, what you have to do is when the weather is hot, the roads expand. So you must maintain a weight limit on the township roads and make sure that they're enforced and they're in compliance. Heavy machinery cannot go on those roads, and even in the wintertime, it's a problem too with overweight vehicles.
Jose, do you have an answer for that?
Yes, I do. The technologies that I want to bring are heat scarification processes that I want to bring to the Elgin Township will prolong the life of the roads, and that means less construction exhaust from diesel, and less construction overall. I also plan on making areas to have wildlife plants, and use other technologies in order to ease the effect of salts on the roads.
I'd like to rebuttal that, please.
Yes, you may. You've got 30 seconds.
Okay. When he mentioned construction on the roads, that makes no sense. You need to have the construction on the roads to maintain the roads. Okay. Regarding the salt, you got to be careful with salt. There's a beet juice, which is environmentally friendly, which he did not bring up. So we need to maintain the roads and make sure that they're maintained properly for the life of the roads, life expectancy.
I'd like to rebuttal.
There's no other rebuttal. There's only
you let
one.
You let him rebuttal me after I rebuttal.
That's not true.
That's not true.
It's being recorded.
That is not that. You get your time for your comments. He gets his time for his comments, and whoever was first, the second
I believe
person
you
gets
allowed
a
him
rebuttal.
to rebuttal my rebuttal.
I don't believe so.
Well, I didn't mention beet juice because it's already being used.
Well, I'm trying to keep this extremely even and fair. So we are doing what we can to make sure you all have adequate time. I don't know if there are any other questions. I'm waiting to see if more have come in from people who are online and listening. This is all being recorded. And if for some reason people have an issue, they are welcome to go ahead and ask a question. Oh, someone asked questions that I am not going to ask. I'm sorry, because they're not appropriate. So if there is nothing else other than the 2 inappropriate comments that just came in from people that I'm sure neither of you would like to answer.
Okay, I think we can move on to closing remarks then.
Give you each
Sounds like
time,
we're
yes,
coming
exactly.
to the end of that. So you each get 1 minute, and Jim, you start because you were the second start at the top of the game.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for participating in this forum. My closing statement is you've heard my credentials, my experience, and there's a difference between night and day compared to what I know and my opponent. So I'd like to have everybody take that in consideration. And I'm confident that we will do a professional transparency job for the Elgin Township voters. And thank you very much.
Okay, Jose.
First and foremost, once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I want to thank the board for putting this together. And I just want to say that I am dedicated to serve my community through professional development and my volunteer service. I don't do this for a raise. I don't do it for a title. I have done these things to be better prepared and better equipped to serve my community in the time of crises. I am a servant leader, and I will bring my passion to serve into the Elgin Township Highway Commissioner's office. I ask for your vote on February 23rd, 2021. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you, candidates.
Thank you, everybody, for participating and taking the time to answer the questions. I believe that one of the things that we had said in the front end when we were trying to put this together is if there are more questions that you have that you would like to have answered, submit them to the Elgin Township Democrats and they will try to make sure that they get posted, because this whole thing has been recorded, and they'll try to make sure that you get an answer.
Okay, Mike, are we ready to switch players here and then get over to Janice for the midterm here?
I believe so, yeah. We're at the halftime show, and that's Janice.
Okay.
Go to it, Janice.
Janice, you're muted.
Janice, you're muted.
Can you hear me now? There you go. There we go.
That sounds like a commercial.
Yeah. Good evening, and I hope you enjoyed the Highway Commissioner debate tonight. Elgin Township Democrats' mission is to grow the party here in Elgin and to support our Democratic local candidates. This year was quite challenging due to the coronavirus and Illinois being shut down. All our fundraisers were canceled, and our biggest fundraiser, the Eleanor Roosevelt dinner, was canceled, but as you know, elections have not been canceled. So I want to take a few minutes to share with you on how we spent our money in 2020. Our community outreach was to sponsor a food drive to benefit the Elgin food pantries. The advertising, printing of flyers, yard signs for this event was $861 that we picked up. During the last general election, Elgin Democrats spent over $2,500. We supported local candidates by contributing to their campaigns for a total of $1,200. We couldn't knock on doors because of the coronavirus, so we had thousands of postcards printed, which we mailed out to the tune of $581. Not to mention that Elgin Township Democrats also paid for Facebook ads that totaled $748. So to renew our coffers for upcoming elections, tonight Elgin Township is rolling out a virtual raffle that's going to run for the next month. The prize is valued over $300 and the winner will be pulled on February 16th at our monthly Zoom meeting. The cost of a chance is $5. For 6 chances is $25. $50 will give you 12 chances and 100 will give you 24 chances. I'm going to move out of the way and show you what our prize is. We have
a dog.
We have one of my dogs, yes. We have one of my dogs, yes. We have an Instant Pot. We have Jimmy Carter's book, Our Endangered Values. We have a Happy Donkey pillow. We have an Obama campaign poster. We have 2 bottles of wine. We have the Supreme Court. Here we go, Supreme Court. And we have gift cards from Elgin's restaurants, the Elgin Public House and Arabic Cafe, I believe it's called. We have 2 of those. And the Democratic playing cards. So how you can buy these chances, you can go to our elgindems.org, and I'll pull that up in a minute. Okay, Michael, did you disable my sharing?
Try it again.
Okay. You can go to the Elgin Township Democrat webpage, elgindems.org, ELGINDEMS.org. The first page you come to, you have a donate to today button. You want to go ahead and click on that. That will take you into the second page. Down in the lower right-hand corner, you can mail a check to us. If you would just go ahead and put raffle in the memo, I will know how many chances that will sign you up for the gift basket here. On the left-hand corner, you have the donate through PayPal or a credit card. So if you click on donate, there, my mouse is not working right. I don't know where my mouse went. Hang on. Bear with me. So you click on the little donate button. You will add a dollar amount, and your option for this would be for ETD fundraising ticket. And then you can either donate with your
for about
PayPal
15
account.
minutes.
Okay.
Then I
And,
go.
or donate with your debit or credit card.
It's going fine, but we've got some Republican trolls who logged in.
So, so if you have any questions, you can contact me or any of the executive board to, and we're all listed on our webpage. So our telephone numbers are there. So help us support our local candidates and support Elgin Township Democrats. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. You want to go over that, what that breakdown is on the dollars again, for how many tickets they get?
Sure. Each chance is $5. You can buy a $25, that will give you 6 chances. A $50 donation will give you 12 chances, and a $100 donation will give you 24 chances.
Okay, thank you. Mike, are we ready to go with our candidates? Do we have a second candidate that's going to be in the debate or no?
No, Patrick reached out to Brenda and she said that unfortunately she's not able to make it. So Franklin can have his time to introduce himself, but unfortunately no debate.
Okay, well, we can still ask him questions, you know, so people can understand a little bit about him if they don't know him. And Franklin, welcome aboard. Go ahead and give us your not, well, I'll let Amanda handle it from here.
Franklin.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I'm doing well.
Well, it's too bad that we don't have the other person who is interested in running for this position, but
we'll just have a conversation.
Yeah, well, what you get to do right now is you get to give a 2-minute introduction. And what we've asked all the candidates to do is don't just give a stump speech, because what the people who are going to potentially vote for you are concerned about is, you know, where you come from, what's your background, what do you have that's going to lend to this position. And so you've got 2 minutes to go, and we've got a timekeeper who will hold up cards that will show you what the time constraints are. He's got all kinds of beautiful colored cards there, and go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you to the Elgin Township Democrats for hosting tonight's debate, and to those of you that are watching as well, be it Democrat, Republican, or independent-minded people. But to borrow a quote, democracy is not a spectator sport. For those of you who may not know me, my undergraduate degree is in human resource management from Loyola University, Chicago, and I have a master's degree in organizational leadership from Judson University. For the past 25 years, I have been committed to public service. It all started when I was 15 years old, and I was appointed to the Uptown Redevelopment Task Force in Park Ridge. And I had to dive into TIF finances head first, you know, like all high school freshmen. For decades, my personal mission statement reads, be honorable in all aspects of life and courageous in times of need, while mentoring young America so they may have the tools to become tomorrow's leaders. With that at my core, I serve on the boards of the Boys and Girls Club of Elgin, and I'm president of the Kiwanis Club of Elgin. When I was elected 4 years ago, increased transparency and accessibility were key to my campaign. We have achieved that by live streaming board meetings, uploading board packets to the township website, and I always make myself available to anyone that needs assistance. Also, I brought passport services to the township, which we have brought in over $10,000 in additional income, so we may keep property taxes low. We have created the committees on youth and seniors, and this past spring, the Mental Health Board was established. Also, every year we have passed a balanced budget without slashing vital services. We have done amazing things over the past 4 years and will continue to provide efficient services and programming to township residents. I'm asking you for your continued support and your vote on February 23rd.
Thank you. I will move right into the questions. Again, I'm sorry that we're not having a debate, but yeah, I see you rubbing your hands here. All right. As township supervisor, do you anticipate a need to increase the tax levy in the township? And if so, please explain.
There's never a need to increase it exponentially. You know, every year groceries go up, you know, our daily lives, the cost of living goes up. And so the same is true with township government. So health insurance, salaries, you know, those make up large chunks of township government. Emergency assistance, general assistance, you know, those go up as well. And so township government, at least here in Kane County, is limited by PTEL cap. You know, so we can only go up max 5% or whatever CPI is. So this last year, CPI was roughly 2.1%. And so when we talk about going up, you know, with the township levy, it's not because we want to sit there and grab dollars out of your pockets. You know, it's to provide the base level services of what we have today and to make sure that we provide a livable service for those that we're helping as well.
Thank you.
Now,
Next
can I rebut
question.
myself too?
No, I don't think you can rebut yourself. That
All
does
right.
not work. Sorry. Nice try, though.
We gotta go.
Next question was, what do you believe are the key issues or problems that are facing the township currently? And what would you do to address those issues?
Well, the first thing that pops into my head is coronavirus. Is coronavirus. And this one is pretty close to my heart, because really what we do in the supervisor's office, you know, one of the three tenets that township government operates is general assistance and emergency assistance. Now you have to qualify for those, and they're basically, for the emergency assistance, one-off. They're true emergencies, not sustained emergencies like what we're in now. General assistance, I like to say it's government assistance at its base level for the neediest of our residents. So the biggest thing that I see that's going to come are evictions and utility turnoffs. So you may have read in the newspaper, I got frustrated because the federal government, through the CARES Act, is giving townships, well, not really townships, municipalities and counties, in particular Kane County here. And what they're doing is they're saying it's going to be used for it's going to be used for housing assistance and utility assistance. But the program that they're doing doesn't jive with township government, because they want us to expend all of our money first in our budget and then be reimbursed for what's left. And that's not really how township government works. And I kind of, rest the blame, if you will, on the former chairman of the Kane County Board, who didn't have one township official at that table to make sure that happens appropriately.
Question from people who are online right now watching. What brought you to Elgin in particular, and why this office, Township Supervisor?
Good question. So I moved to Elgin Township in 2012 in December. And so I've been involved in politics for most of my life, since I was 15. I've been involved in township government when I lived in Park Ridge, so Maine Township. And they have a mentorship program. They have, how do I explain it? Maine Township is similar to Hanover Township up here in our neck of the woods. And so I started to look at Elgin Township and said, how can I participate? How can I help? And so I went to the board meetings for 2 years to understand how Elgin Township operates. And so, I've always had it inside me that I always want a seat at the table in order to represent my community, my neighbors, and to move the football closer to the end zone. And what that means is make sure that we're all living together and not separately.
Thank you. Next question. Are there any major changes to this position that you would like to make? And in particular, would you propose adding, subtracting, changing, or restructuring any of the roles of the township supervisor position?
Great question. Man, if I could reinvent it, I don't know that I necessarily would. Township supervisor is, for lack of a better expression, CEO of the township. But with that being said, the assessor runs his or her own department, and the highway commissioner runs their department as well, outside of the supervisor's purview. So the supervisor's main responsibility is to be chairman of the board and to provide general assistance. What I see for the past 6 years, and I'm including the 4 that I've been involved in as well, are education opportunities for residents. When I sit there and have an opportunity to explain how township government works for people, I do it. With that being said, I'm on the board of Township Supervisors of Illinois. Yesterday, when most of everybody had Martin Luther King Day off for the holiday, I drove down to Peoria, met my fellow supervisors, chatted about what we can do in order to improve the lives of residents, and then came back. So 5 hours in the car for an hour meeting, totally worth it. But I have a passion for this, and I just love what I do.
Okay, we have a question from someone who is online here. Have you or the assessor made provisions for employees to work remotely these past few months? And have either of you mandated that employees must work inside the building every day? I don't know that you can answer for the assessor because that's not your job, but.
Yeah, no, that's true. Coronavirus is on everybody's mind. And trust me when I say it's on my mind as well. It allows us, and when I say this, again, I'm not speaking for the assessor, but we kind of work hand in hand when it comes to big projects like phone systems or, things that are connected between the two. Working from home though, no is the short answer. And so again, it's the safety and health and welfare of my employees that we take into account. And so are we going to be making provisions in case anything like this happens again? Yes. One thing that we've come to realize that you can't really bring a desktop computer home in order to work off-site. So laptops are going to be the thing of the future. And then how we connect the office to our home office. When we talk about general assistance and emergency assistance, it's not necessarily paper heavy, but there's a lot of paper involved and that transaction. So what we do, we don't allow any of our clients, if you will, into the office. So we have a partition that our general assistance caseworker and our emergency assistance caseworker can communicate with the clients through in our little interior lobby. And then we make sure that we sanitize that. So we do take the health, safety, and welfare of our employees to heart while we still try to maintain what can we do in the future long-term.
Thank you. Okay, we've got another question from someone who is watching virtually, and it's kind of a long question, so I will read it, and if I have to read it again, I will. Please explain how the city of Elgin crosses multiple townships. For example, those that live east are assessed by Cook County and belong to Hanover Township, and homes in South Elgin are both in Elgin and St. Charles Townships. This is complicated.
It's complicated, but it's easy at the same time. So I'm on the top row on this box. So I'm going to kind of use this as an example here. Township government is a square for the most part here in Kane County. So township government came to existence in 1850. So they wrote it out like this. This top line here is about 6 miles, and this sideline here is about 6 miles. And so this is the difference between Kane County here, and this is Cook County on the other side. So township government never crosses county lines. Okay, so that's why you've got the 25% of Elgin is in Hanover Township in Cook County. A little bit of Elgin is up here in Dundee Township. You get South Elgin is about right here, about 50%. And then about 50%-ish of South Elgin is down in St. Charles Township. So city municipal governments, they have these jagged borders. Township government is pretty static here in Kane County. So that's the simple answer to the complicated question.
Thank you. Are there any other questions out there? Because I have not seen any pop up, and I don't hear any from the panel who are putting this on. If there aren't, we will go ahead and let you give a closing statement, which is supposed to be 1 minute, and then we'll move on.
Franklin, well, I have a question, if you don't mind answering it.
Go
no,
right
I love
ahead.
questions.
I was curious, how has COVID affected any contingency fund? Because I kind of know that there's a lot of funds that are a lot of groups that come to Elgin Township for funding. And I'm sure that almost all of those groups have expelled their funds and they're needing more. Is there a contingency plan on some of this stuff?
Short answer, no. Shorter answer, yes. For instance, the Committee on Seniors had some money left over, and they were able to use that money in the short term for Food for Greater Elgin. I believe in the tune of, I believe 125,000, give or take a bit. So we were able to fill that need in a very short term because of coronavirus. But when you look at our other funds, like social service funding or youth funding, that's pretty static as well. I believe social service funding this year was almost $500,000. And so those agencies come to the township, they make their request, and then we can see how we can help up until that point. Township government is very lean. You know, it's if you look at your property tax bill, it's not the highest, that's for sure. I don't think it's the lowest because Fox River Water Reclamation District gets that top billing for the amount of money they take out of your property taxes. But township government is right there. So we try to be efficient with our money and not have giant reserves in order to call them rainy day funds or anything like that.
Okay, thank you. All right, if you get any more questions, Amanda?
I really do love answering questions. I mean, I have a knack for township government.
I think we do have another question. Did you see that, Amanda?
For some reason, I've lost my audio.
I don't see it.
It's in the chat, not the Q&A.
There's one in the chat. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's in the chat.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah, go ahead and read it, Patrick or Mike.
Okay. Can you explain your plan for establishing budget priorities?
Yes. I always like to say, you know what, as even though I watched township government, I went to every single board meeting for 2 years. And, you know, because if you want to know, you got to go. You know, at this point, it wasn't live streamed, you know, and you can go through minutes as detailed as minutes can get, right? But if you really want to listen to township government, attend the meetings. So I definitely put that up. So the first 4 years were kind of getting used to, you know, what exactly does township government do 100%. And so we kind of maintained what we had taken over, you know, and I don't mean that in a hostile sense, so please don't take it that way. But we were given this township and we just said, hey, you know, we have to keep it the way it is for the moment. But explaining my plan for establishing budget priorities, what I want to do is develop a mission for the township, you know, within the box that the Illinois legislature gives us, and a vision. And I want to sit there and make sure that our budget priorities are for them. So one thing that every single township has to do is general assistance. So we have to make sure that our general assistance is shored up, and then we can sit there and whether it's homelessness or food insecurity or, you know, anything else, that would be budget priorities. But that's really going to happen when the new board is set in May. The current board will sit there and have an opportunity to chime in a little bit, but we really have to give it to the next board that's going to be seated mid-May. Thank you, though.
Okay. Anything else, Amanda?
There is one new one in the Q&A.
All right. Amanda lost her audio, it says.
Oh, well, then I'll ask the question.
Okay.
How many employees do you supervise?
So we have 4 employees on the town side. And, you know, who that is general assistance caseworker, emergency assistance caseworker, building maintenance, and then what I like to dub a jack of all trades. She's the deputy clerk. You know, she does the payroll processing. I wouldn't call her office manager, but she's definitely integral into the making the gears work and the train run on time, especially when I'm not there.
Okay. Any other questions? We might be coming to the end of our debate. Thank you, Franklin, for shouldering it all by yourself. For those that...
Carl, he needs to do a closing statement.
Okay. All right. That's true. Thank you for reminding me about that. So, Franklin, you got a minute closing statement.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you again to the Elgin Township Democrats and yourselves. 4 years ago, my campaign was about increased transparency. We are still committed to transparency, but now more than ever are educating residents about how township government works for them. Some other things about me that you may not know: that I am a foster parent, mentor, and advocate who's committed to the health and safety of all children. I co-host a podcast that educates listeners on how government works and how they can get more involved. I'm telling you, I love this stuff. For more information, though, please visit my website at franklinramirez.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/join-Franklin. Again, I humbly ask for your vote on February 23rd. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Franklin. And Amanda,
thank you, guys. I'm really sorry I lost my, I know I've got feedback here, but I lost my audio for some reason.
Okay. Thank you, Franklin. Again, Amanda, I don't think we have any more questions, and I'm just going to do a quick wrap up here. Thank you all for joining us, and you know, follow us all of our groups on our Facebook page, and we have a website, and join us at our next meeting, which is February 16th. That meeting, we will be doing a drawing for the people that had donated, and we'll see who's the winner on that. Plus, we will resume our regular meetings at that time. And we always try to do, you know, a guest speaker at them. We've been kind of doing that, but you know, we're doing the best we can, contacting the people that we can. So thanks again for joining us. And I think
Carl, could I just ask one thing?
Sure.
Amanda, you know, we of course wanted to thank Amanda for taking her time to do this, and this is really great, and we really appreciate the moderation. Amanda being moderator, does Amanda want to take a minute and just, you know, explain, you know, like her background? I know Amanda's got a really good political resume, and, you know, I just thought Amanda might want to say a minute as to who she was.
Excellent.
Oh, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm on my cell phone now because for some reason my computer went nuts and I lost the audio. I am a 12-year trustee at the College of Lake County. I'm up for re-election in April. I'm unopposed. I am the current vice chair of the board, and I will be chairman next year. I'm on a number of national committees, including the United States Global Leadership Coalition and a national committee for community college trustees
I'm on the Diversity, Equity, and Committee for them, and I'm also a delegate or not delegate at large, but director at large for the National Association. I've been involved in helping Democratic services since the Carrie Edwards election, when I went to Ohio as an election protection attorney and saw all of the things that were going on that honestly were not proper, and frustrated me to the point where I started to get involved in politics. But I support all of you. I really think it's a great idea that we continue to work together. I'm an attorney in federal court. I've been practicing, now I do mostly mediation, but I clerked for a federal district judge for 5 years, and then for a magistrate judge for almost 2 years. And I was a former teacher of emotionally disturbed students and a former school principal in the Elgin district. So I've been involved in a lot of different things, and what's going on now is extremely important to me. And I appreciate the fact that you let me come in and moderate what was going on. So thank you to everybody who participated. I hope that Elgin has a great election. This system is the best system we have, and I think it's extremely important that we continue to promote democracy and free elections. And in light of everything that's going on, I can't thank you all enough. So good luck to all the candidates.
Thank you, Amanda, again, for your participation. And just to recap here, I'd like to thank the candidates from Jim Shales of Elgin and Jose Bosque. Both are running for Elgin Road Commissioner, and for Franklin. And our other candidate could not make it, but Brenda Rogers, you know, those are our two candidates for Elgin Supervisor. So with that, thank you all for coming, and join us on the 16th. That's the date that we will be pulling the card to see who the winner is of our drawing. And we'll have another meeting for you to fill you in on some information that's going on. And we'll be on the other side of a hopefully bad situation that's ending a presidency up in Washington and starting anew. So thanks again for joining us. And I will be talking to you. If you have any questions, contact any one of us. Our numbers are available. And again, we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Elgin Dems. Everybody stay safe, please.
Okay, Mike, I think that's it.
Okay. And I'll be posting the video on YouTube and Facebook for everybody. So thank you all.
All right. See you soon.